Yeah. Oh, I see. So, for example, if I go like this without a double, and I go like this, it's gonna push me off. He makes a good point. Yeah. Push off a little bit, and I get that little push, right? But if I bring momentum, then what does that do? It brings that foot back. Yeah. I was gonna explain that. You really need to practice a double kick with at least paddles or a bag. I also have something to add too, but I want to know. You can get a bag, and you really want to know how to push off on contact, and not only that, you want to know how to establish contact off the line. You want to know how to establish contact off the line, and you want to know how to use that contact to push off of for your next one. And when I'm doing this, instead of going round, sort of like his drilling is in the beginning of this video, instead of rotating my hips round, I go straight. I kick straight as I possibly can, rotate at the very last moment, and push off of there. It's sort of like you're undercutting the sword, and then with your other hand with another sword, then you kind of flick your other sword at them again. So you like flick under with your first roundhouse, and then you flick sort of curvilinear with your second kick, because you're pushing off of it, and you're kind of it's sort of difficult to continue a straight trajectory when you're pushing off of somebody. So my second one is curvilinear, and I try to keep that one as straight as I can too. And then I use that curvature when I'm contacting the second kick to build off of that one too. I try to stay as straight as I possibly can. There are times where you can get away with a triple, you can get away with a quadruple right from underneath them, and they could swear that you got a double. Like you can, they think they got caught up in a double, but you ended up in like a triple or a quadruple because you did the rest right from underneath them. So it's really difficult for them to see, and that's how you really know that you got them. When you go wide, they see the legs, so they know where to move. When they see the legs, even if they know they're going to get hit with the leg, they're still going to want to move somewhere to get away from the next one. So when it's from underneath them and they're looking for the legs and they can't see where the legs are because they're looking wide, not underneath. If they're looking wide for your legs and not underneath for your legs, and you get them from underneath, they won't know where to move next. So they stay still, and then you got them from underneath because they're looking for the double or the triple or the quadruple from the side of them. And knowing how to kick from underneath takes a lot of drilling with paddles first, then with the bag. You want to be very encouraging to your student and give them that kick sometimes. When you're teaching with paddles, when you're teaching them the double kick, you want to encourage them. Give them the kick. Give them the kick, but give it to them as straight, but as like curvilinear as you can, so they turn at the last point of kick. So once they turn at the last point, and you're giving them some of that, like with speed drills and stuff like that with paddles, then you give them a bag, and then have them work off
By
of
last point, it
pushing
doesn't have to be
off
perfect.
of a bag.
You know,
That is something
it's
I
always a
cannot
constant
teach you here
practice
because I don't have a
one,
bag.
actually. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it's more slippery now.
Believe it or not, rotating that, making your roundhouse kick as straight as you possibly. I know it sounds roundhouse, right? But by doing that as straight as you can, as direct as you possibly can, that in itself is literally a lifelong practice. I promise you.
Oh, I see. squirted stuff here. They squirted stuff here. Because they injected me and they squirted stuff on the floor to make it slippery. So yeah, with a double kick, start off straight. When you got them at contact, you push off that contact, and then you push off that contact, and the next kick is usually a little bit curvilinear. And yeah, when you're doing it to somebody, you want to go from underneath them. If you go too wide and they're looking for it, they can see it. They'll be able to see it, so they're going to want to move away according to how you're kicking. But if you're doing it straight, right from underneath them, when they're expecting to look here, they won't find it. So when they don't see it, you're getting hit. And so that's how you get them, by going underneath it straight. That's how I do it. That's how I catch a lot of people a lot of time. You know who else does it is Brian, which is Harm's Way. He does that. I don't know why, but on the third one he falls down. But I'll give him that. You know, if you get somebody with, I'll say this too. There is not a lot of people with the temperament that can handle that. Just so you know, there's not a lot of people with the temperament that can handle that. I would get pissed off when people do that to me, but I'm not gonna fight that, you know? Even if he were to fall down after doing a triple kick like that and I didn't see it, like even if it pisses me off momentarily and he falls down so I can't get a point back on him, I'm not gonna argue against that, because I can totally tell that he would do that to somebody and then somebody would freaking lose their mind and want to freaking kill them just because of that. So instead of instead of opening the possibility of an injury, you know, he would just fall down. So I was like, I'm not gonna argue that, dude. I'm not gonna argue that. If anybody tags to anybody with a triple kick like that good, somebody's gonna get freaking pissed off. So I'll tell you that if you know somebody with a bad temperament, this will piss them off.
I'm not kidding with
I
that.
promise you that. When you triple kick somebody and you swear it was like a double kick or something, and when you do it right from underneath them and they're looking for it, they can't see it, but it's just like this. Like, that pisses people the fuck off. You have to be very disciplined to be able to handle that. So that's like black belt level. You have to have the discipline to be able to handle that in sport combat practice. Because there's a lot of people that just cannot handle it. They do not have the discipline to handle that. I promise you they don't. So that is one pointer there. There are people out there that don't even know that. But the only way that you would know that was if you fought somebody that also knew how to do that. That's where I learned it, from a lot of fighters that throw triple kicks like that. It's pretty gnarly. Cynthia does that. Paul does that. Brian did it. Yeah, I do it like that. Yeah. Go from underneath. Don't go around. They're going to see it. And when they see it, they're going to move around. And then you're hopping around with the triple or quadruple, which you don't want to do. You sort of want to flick your sword under, then flick your sword a little bit curvilinear. It's like pop, pop from underneath. Make it easier for yourself. Don't try to, don't try to be more grand with that than you have to. One at a time. Okay.
contact. Just one at a time, okay? That feels more comfortable. Now let me make sure that my heels are raised. Let me make sure that my hip is disassociated. And then from there,
That's what they wanted to do. Disassociate my hips.
going into triples, quadruples, right? So if I go like this, I'm going into the next kick. It's not like
I see. Here's another thing too. This was an old school move. I think this is even like a Gangnam technique or something. When you got distance, you see your opponent, you know he's gonna cover distance with like a double or a triple or quadruple or something like that. Some people, when they know with an old schooler that they know that I know what you're gonna do with all that distance, they'll keep their arm out. They'll signal that I know you're gonna throw a double or throw a triple. So like when I'm waiting for you, like I know. So I got my arm like waiting for you. So when they come at you and they advance at you with like a double or a triple or quadruple, you block. Keep your arms low like this. Both of them low like that. Like you got two swords down like that. Block it. When they would come at me with a double, I wouldn't give him that point. I would, if they come at me here with a double first, I put my arm here, right? Put my arm here and bring my back facing towards them. So I don't give them that point with my hogu, and my arm blocks that kick. And when this view, I can see from underneath me, actually. When I'm here, I see wide. I have to look down to see underneath me. When I'm blocking like this, I have to look wide. But when I'm blocking like this, you can do it too. I'm looking down. So I block this. It's like punse. It's like forms. I block this roundhouse, and then I can see from underneath me, even from wide if I wanted to, where that next leg is coming from. So once I see that next leg, then I switch stance. And I have this arm down, blocking the roundhouse, and my body protector is facing away from this leg. So I'm not giving him the point. So I see a double coming at me. 1, 2. I don't give him the point. My bodyguard, my body protector is away from his roundhouse. Even if I do this, even if they hit my back, they probably won't give him the point. I don't think back in the day they gave that a point. But I would block it. I can see the next leg coming from underneath me because I'm in this stance. And then I can block the next one. If I wanted to be more sporty about it and we were in the clinch, right? I would keep my hands down and I would do that. Keep your hands down, block the kicks. If you know that they're going to do a double or a triple or something. They don't do this in Taekwondo anymore. I did this all the time back in the day. Like I would just shift one position, look down, shift to the other position. And I don't give them the point. It's very old school Taekwondo. It's very punse. It's very forms. So that is one way to properly, in my opinion, this is old school Taekwondo. That is the way old school Taekwondo more likely than not would do double kick from underneath. They don't want you to be able to see it. The only way you can see it is if you are in position to block it. And again, you know, it's these intrinsicalities when you put it together, when you tailor these things and these sort of areas of reality in the field together, and you can tailor them like that, and it sort of plays out there. These intrinsicalities are freaking. That's what I really enjoy seeing, and like I freaking live for. Like seeing that sort of reality, like unravel, so to speak, is like, and you can being able to recognize it. That's yeah. Sometimes like that's like way better than tricking. You can get jealous of tricking all you want, but there's like moves and stuff that's been around for thousands of freaking years that still is like even relevant in like sport martial arts today. Like you couldn't do this stance and see down, you would literally have to look down. You do this stance and you can see down. And that's all the difference in the world. And you could say, yeah, that won't work in a real fight, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, yeah. But I want to say this could be akin to, there is, first of all, what is the right or wrong way to teach combat? And if there is a right way, and if you would attach it to anything, would you attach it to swordsmanship? If there's no wrong or right way, then I'm going to attach this to swordsmanship, yeah.
We have to edit that out.
Now we're getting into the big question. Is the roundhouse kick a jumping kick or a switching kick? And there's actually three different answers to that. I'm going to show you the first answer real quick. Yes, it is a jumping kick.
Sort of like gone. There's three different meanings across, but they're all the same across three different languages. There's more than one way of throwing triple kicks, by the way.
I read it, and then I kick it very short with a little bit of a pop up into the air. And the reason that I do that is, so if he comes in really tight to me, I'm able to get some air time and be able to really squeeze in. I'm able to squeeze in that out-fire double nice and tight, so he looks into. And I know we didn't cover the out-fire double this video, but if you want to learn it, if you want to get more info and learn how to implement these techniques into your specific game plan, if you have one, click or scan the link above. That's my online Technical Fury institution. Got 400 athletes and coaches in there. I'll also put the link down in the comments below. The second answer is yes, to the switch. And that specifically applies to when you're kicking in place. So if I'm in place with him and I'm kicking a double, a triple, a quadruple, right? And he's staying right there, I don't have to move backwards. I don't have to move forwards. And I can just switch my feet. So there's really not really any time besides maybe 0.1, 0.2 of a second where both of my feet are in the air like this. Because by the time this foot comes back, this foot is coming up. And by the time this foot comes back, this foot is coming up. So if I throw like 5, 6 in a row, right? I go boom like this. It's almost like I'm switching. I'm not really jumping. I'm trying to switch so I can get the next kick off as fast as possible. The last answer is a no to jumping or switching. Because if you're moving forward with a double, triple, quadruple, it's more of a propulsion forward. We talked earlier about with the flooded kicks, being able to keep that heel up so I can move and pop into the next kick, right?
This is really
so if I'm
funny.
doing that pop,
You know how much of a secret I kept this
it's
when I
almost like
was a
I'm
little
walking in the
kid?
air, right? I'm moving forward. I'm pushing myself forward.
I
I'm not
would
really
want to
thinking of
pose
switching.
this
I'm not really thinking of
so
jumping,
bad as a
right?
kid,
I'm thinking more, let me push
but
my
I
hips
did
forward
not.
while I do the
Like,
switch
I
and
was a
jump. And you push my
statue.
hips forward. I'm going to go right, left, right,
I
left,
wanted
right.
to pose it because there
Move
was
back
a
a little bit.
mirror
I go
in the classroom. So
boom, like this.
I wanted to do that in the
Telling
classroom
myself
so
forward
bad.
so I
It was
can
like
follow up.
to pose
That
like a
it's not
statue.
widely used in the modern game,
But I
it's
never did,
definitely
no.
applicable for opponents that's moving back. So we got some fighters doing it right now. Like CJ Nicholas, boom, he be throwing the threes, the fours.
People did it back in the day.
Just trying to pull back. Now that you know the fundamentals of throwing these doubles and triples, you can start getting onto the mats and then throwing them. But if you don't know how to implement them into your specific game plan, it's like trying to hit a pinata with a blindfold on. And that's exactly why I created this video right here, where I cover the exact system on how to improve in Taekwondo at the fastest rate possible. Let's get curious.
That is a wealth of information, just so you know. You can also use that stance and block and not giving your opponent the body protector, even for a simple off the line roundhouse, or while you're sort of in the heat of like battle and he's just throwing an off the line roundhouse when you're shifting around, just at a random, you can take a whole step backwards from someone's off the line roundhouse and throw that arm out and shift your body protector away from them and find another angle outside of there. If you don't see another leg coming from around you, you can find that's your exit right there. That's your exit right there. When you shift your weight that way from an off the line roundhouse, when you're just moving around and stuff like that with your opponent, and he's not throwing another leg that direction, where you're from the direction that if you see that opening, that's where your exit is. If you don't want to get into the clinch with him after making contact in some way with an off the line roundhouse, and you don't see something following up on the other side, that's your exit off the other side. If you don't want to engage in that area yet, if that area is not where you want to get into it, then you can exit that way, and then get into it somewhere else. It's sort of like Achilles of Troy. The only thing you have to watch out for is an old schooler that does one of those, and it's in a Pumse. They do a jump, skip, head, roundhouse kick. When they know that you're going to exit there, they do a skippity
or a
over
cut kick.
two.
Or a cut kick, which is something I don't like to do.
They do like,
and they know that.
something like that, which is something I used to do. Something weird like that. I can't do it anymore. I used to do it really
They messed with my
avant-garde,
legs,
but
so
they
I
were just
can't
like,
do that.
something like that.
I can't even do it right anymore. They mess with my legs, so I can't do it right. Maybe that last one was maybe right.
Something like that. If they go for off the line roundhouse, and they know that's your exit, and when you do that, it fucking hurts way more. Like a little skip hoppity, bam.
Yeah.
Skip hoppity, bam.
Yeah, you guys messed with my kidneys, so it like creases against my body when I kick. So it protrudes against my kicking. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, whenever you try to exit that way, somebody will do that to you. And so it's like, ah! The only reason why, yeah, yeah, and when you fight somebody like that, you only do that not in a corner, yeah? You do that in one of the wire frames of the ring, in the mean points of both corners. So in between both corners of this square, one side, the middle of one side, you would throw if they're facing towards the center from one of the middle areas of one side, you are facing towards him from the center towards one of the centers of one side, and you would throw an off the line roundhouse kick at him to force him to exit towards one of the corners, and then at which point you will do a skippity head kick when he gets to one of the corners, and then it's like, ah! So basically, damn it, this is difficult. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah, you the corners, and then it's like, ah!
So there's some strategy for you.
In fact, you wouldn't even want to do this in kickboxing. I'm serious. You don't even want to do this in kickboxing. The only reason why you would even want to do this in kickboxing, the only reason why you want to do this in kickboxing is if you know they're going in for a roundhouse from far away. So once they hit your arm, you can underhook them. That's it. If they're going to kick you from a roundhouse from far away and you know they're going to go for, like, let's say even a head kick, you could go away, underhook them, and go for a cover punch. That's the only reason why a kickboxer would want to do that.
But they don't.
And now I'm gonna
they
fucking
don't.
do
They
that too.
don't because literally, I don't think anybody fucking knows. I'm not even kidding you. Nobody underhooks roundhouse kicks, because literally nobody fucking knows. You literally have to be an old school Taekwondo guy from that time to know. Nobody is going to tell you this. I promise you. And I got some faggot ass neighbors that want to be that fucking guy.